What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Thank you for watching. Today's video is a very highly anticipated one for me because I think one of my all-time favorite pistols might have just gotten even better. So we've done several Staccato videos on this channel. I don't think I've ever said a bad word about them, maybe other than the price. They are definitely priced insane, I'm not gonna lie. But they recently released a new one, and thanks to an awesome friend of mine, we got our hands on this one very early. So this is the brand new Staccato P 2011 HD. Now, there's a lot of changes that they've made to this pistol. You can probably see some of them just by looking at it, and we'll get to all of those in today's video. But the one that I'm definitely the most excited about is the Staccato HD now takes Glock magazines. It's like the best pistol and the best magazine came together and had a super baby that I never thought we would get. Now, as I'm sure you're all well aware if you watch this channel, I've never met a Staccato pistol I didn't like. I've also never met a Glock magazine that I didn't like. But the HD, when it was first announced, was definitely the most appealing Staccato to me because, number one, its list price of like 2,600 bucks was kind of a bargain. Yes, I know that sounds crazy, but for a Staccato, anything under 3 grand is cheap. And then obviously the main selling point was that it now takes the almighty Glock magazine. And for the record, I never had a problem with Staccato mags, but I think Glock mags are just a different breed. Reliability, compatibility, most of us already have a ton of them laying around, and it's nice to not have to buy different magazines for every different pistol you have. So if every handgun on planet Earth switched to Glock mags tomorrow, I would be perfectly fine with it. But let's get started. I'm very excited to try the new Staccato P 2011 HD, and I also brought out the original Staccato P to compare the two. I'm holding like $8,000 in my hands right now. Feels kind of good, I'm not gonna lie. So let's see if the new HD is the entry-level budget gun of the summer. Sorry, I can't help myself with the price jokes. Budget gun is crazy. And here we go, very first shots. I think this is the first Staccato I've ever fired that's non-comped. So I'm curious to see how it feels. The other ones don't move. We got our first Glock magazine here. I'm so stoked for this. Let's see if it'll air rack. That's a good start, boys. Haven't fired this pistol yet, so let's try this thing together. It's so good. God, that's nice. I haven't fired a Staccato in a long time. I kind of forgot how awesome they feel. I've missed you. Of course, it did fire all the rounds flawlessly and locked the slide back. I don't know how they do it, man. I don't know what kind of voodoo magic they're working on these things, but they genuinely don't recoil. And this one's not even comped. Feels like half of a 9mm. Got another magazine. It's so good. There we go. First 2 magazines. Once again, ran it flawlessly. I'm not gonna sit here and act like these pistols aren't priced ridiculously because they are, we all know that, but man, when you shoot it, does it feel worth every penny. Don't fire one of these if you don't have the money. That's all I'll really say, because it makes you want one really bad, and I can't even put my finger on exactly what it is. It's just a combination of everything. Certainly the recoil impulse is unique. Like, you know it's a Staccato the minute you fire it. No other handgun feels like that. One thing I did notice is the magazine release does not eject those mags out like it does on a Glock. You know, Glocks like launch them out with force. They just kind of fall out on the Staccato. I'm sure that's adjustable like everything else is on these pistols. I could probably fix it in 5 seconds. But if I had to give one criticism so far, that would be it. And I'm really nitpicking if you can't tell, so. It's another good one. Hey guys, before we go any further, I have got to give a shout out to DNT Optics. They are a big supporter of this channel. We've used their products many times, such as the HS225 here. Got quite a few videos on this one, and they just recently sent the even cooler, in my opinion, brand new Thermite. I'm currently in the process of testing this one now, so keep an eye out for that. But they've got a crazy amount of options and settings that allow you to see in every lighting condition. It is multispectral, so it has daytime, nighttime, and heat detection all in one package. They have picture-in-picture, so you can have multiple modes on screen at the same time and toggle between the two, a built-in IR illuminator, and the most expensive laser rangefinder and ballistic calculator with over 8,000 bullet data to choose from. They've also got one of my favorite features, which is the recoil activated recording. It basically knows when you take a shot and then records the 6 seconds prior. So you never miss anything while you're recording, and all of this comes in at under $9.99. You're going to be hard pressed to find a better deal on an optic like this. So if you want to learn more, you can check out their YouTube channel. I will put a link for that down in the description box below. And again, thank you to DNT Optics for sponsoring today's video. Got another magazine here. See if we can hit that little red target. Yep. It's running perfect. Wouldn't expect nothing less. Okay, I went ahead and grabbed my Glock 19. I want to feel the recoil difference after shooting the Staccato HD. Probably got 8 or 9 rounds in here. You definitely cannot air rack a Glock, that's for sure. That's all I needed to feel. No comparison at all. Yeah, it feels like the difference between shooting a 9 and a 40. It's really that much snappier. I love Glock pistols, but it's got quite a bit more recoil. It's also a lighter weight handgun, but Staccato wins the recoil test. And this is the original Staccato P. These are actually both the same size barrels, 4.5, but this one just has a comp, so it does look a little bit longer. Not sure how many rounds are in the magazine, but let's see how it feels comped versus uncomped. Yeah, okay, this one definitely does feel a little softer, like for sure. God, that feels good. So it's softer shooting, definitely. Not a ton, but it almost doesn't come off target at all. However, that comp does put off a little bit more blast. It kind of punches you in the face. It's definitely louder as well. So if we're just talking recoil, this one is the flatter shooting of the two. But overall, I still might like the HD more because it is less obnoxious and neither one of them kick hard enough to really matter. So it's like choosing between Ferrari or McLaren. They're both good cars and I can't afford either one of them. All right, let's go ahead and take a really quick look at the new Staccato HD. I've also got the original Staccato P sitting next to it so we can compare the two, and I'm sure you can already see some of the differences just by looking at them. So starting at the back, probably the most noticeable thing they did was remove the grip safety. There is no grip safety on the new Staccato HD, and obviously all the other ones do have it. Some of the purists might not like that. Personally, I do. I've never cared for grip safeties. I just don't think the trade-off is worth it. You can still have NDs, and then if they're not made well, they can prevent the gun from firing when you need it to if your grip's not perfect. I've even heard stories from old 1911s where soldiers would like rubber band them down so they wouldn't cause problems. It also looks like the grip angle might be a little bit steeper on the new Staccato HD. I thought it would be way steeper to take those Glock magazines, but somehow they managed to keep it pretty similar to the first one. It's not quite as steep as a Glock, I don't think. But another change they made that I absolutely love is they moved the rear iron sight up in front of the optic. So you can see that rear sight right there. And then on the other one, that's not the case. It's behind the optic like most pistols are. I love this. It gets the rear sight out of the way of your optic, but it's still there just in case your optic fails. So it's like the best of both worlds. One downside is they did change the optic footprint, so now you have to have a plate for any optic no matter what you use. On the older ones, they were fit for the Delta Point Pro, so you could just mount it directly to the slide. You cannot do that with the HD. You have to get an adapter plate no matter which optic you use. So It is very low profile though, not a big deal. And obviously the big change everyone's talking about is that it now takes Glock magazines, which I'm definitely a big fan of. I will say the mag release on this one is a little bit mushy. You have to press it in pretty far to get that mag to drop free, whereas on the others, that's not the case. So it's a Staccato, I assume, that's all adjustable. And if it was mine, I would probably try to lighten it up, but still a good mag release. And then the final thing I've noticed that's different on the HD is it also has ambidextrous slide releases. So you can see that slide release on the right side of the pistol. This one does not have that. So the HD has ambidextrous safeties, ambidextrous slide releases, and I assume the mag release can also be swapped to the other side. It's a truly ambidextrous pistol. So the Staccato HD is basically like if a Glock and a Staccato had a baby that is 90% superior Staccato genetics and then got the only couple traits you would want from the Glock. Magazine supremacy, reliability, and a slightly more aggressive grip angle. It's a win all the way around in my opinion. All right, let's go ahead and finish off with a little grand finale for the Staccato HD. I have several different hollow points in this magazine. I want to see if it'll run them, and we're just gonna rapid fire through a bunch of different targets. We got a spicy watermelon on the steel, sodas, shaving cream, spray paint, splat packs, a bunch of different targets. Should be fun. That was cool. Cleared my sinuses. I don't know if there's any survivors. Yeah, that was awesome. Okay, well, it ran all the hollow points that we had in the magazine. I am covered in soda and shaving cream. Well, I guess I've gotten used to shooting ball rounds into targets like this, and I kind of forgot that hollow points do a lot more damage. I'm covered. All right, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed our video on the brand new Staccato P 2011 HD. I'm sure other YouTubers either have or will be doing more in-depth videos, reviews, long-term torture tests and stuff like that. We just kind of shoot to have fun around here, but I do think I've shot this thing enough to give it a fair grade, and I'm gonna give it an A+, just like I have every other Staccato that we fired. Like I've said in previous videos, it's just the perfect handgun. If I could design a handgun to fit me perfectly, it would be a Staccato 2011. And I think the HD is probably my favorite one out of all of them because number one, it does take Glock magazines and they removed the grip safety and it just feels perfect. There's not much else to say. If I had one complaint, I guess it would be the price. I do wish they were priced a little bit better, but I think you get what you pay for, and there's probably a reason that they are so expensive. So, hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know down in the comments below. As always, hit that like button for me, guys. I would really appreciate it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Well, guys, I was leaving the shooting range, and as I was pulling around this corner, I thought, I'm gonna stop and give the Staccato HD the long range test. So we're at least 130, maybe 140 yards. You probably can't even see the targets. They're in that little gap right there. And we're gonna give it a shot. Now I might go for the blue target all the way to the left because it is the loudest one down there, and back here, they're kind of tough to hear. So it looks tiny. Let's see if we can hit it. Have a nice day.